Welcome to Preparing to Meditate. At the beginning of one of the most classical texts on traditional Indian yoga, called the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, Patanjali states that the restraint of the modifications of the mind stuff is yoga. And what Patanjali essentially meant when he stated this was that the ultimate objective of practicing yoga is to still the mind. One of the key principles of yoga is that the mind and body are intrinsically connected. So if we're holding on to tension in our physical body, it can be extremely difficult to relax in the mind. And given this, it can be really helpful to take some time to stretch out the body and release tension before we begin a meditation practice. In this brief video, I'm going to share with you an appendix from my series of books, 4 Seasons of Yoga, a series of themed resource books for teaching and home practice. And I'll talk you through some of the poses which you might like to practice yourself in your own time before listening to one of our meditations. So if you have the book in front of you, it's Appendix 2, and it's the limbering up routine. You might like to begin in mountain pose. So just standing up with the feet roughly hip joint distance apart. Take a moment to spread the toes out. Allow the weight to spread out from the front to the back and from one side of the foot to the other. Just allow yourself to root down into the ground. Flex your knees. Gently tilt the pelvis. Stretch the upper body up towards the sky. We can bring the hands into a prayer position in front of the chest. And here just taking a few nice, deep and even breaths. When you're ready, release the hands down beside the body. And we'll take a nice sweeping breath as we bring the arms overhead in an arc shape, inhaling as we breathe in and exhaling as we lower the arms back down beside the body. And do this as many times as you feel comfortable or necessary. From here, arms come back down beside the body. We can do some shoulder rolls. First of all, forwards a few times, just loosening through the shoulders and the trapezius muscles. And then gently roll the shoulders backwards, so expanding into the chest and releasing through the shoulder blade. Again, performing these poses as many times as you feel necessary. When you're ready, drop the arms back down beside the body. We'll start to release the neck. So just dipping the chin down towards the chest, feeling the neck lengthening, and then returning the chin back to the center. So perhaps feeling this across the tops of the shoulders as well into the trapezius muscle. Lengthening the neck as you dip chin to chest and releasing back to the center. Again, as many times as you would like to. So leaving the legs roughly hip joint distance apart, so those mountain legs, take the fingers in front of the body, interlace them and bring the hands all the way overhead. We can just do some gentle lateral stretches, so stretching from side to side. Gently rocking from side to side, keeping the body upright. Even yourself up so that you've done the same amount of bends or stretches to both sides. And then we'll have the arms down beside the body, keeping the upper body upright as if you are standing between 2 panes of double glazing. Just gently slide your hand down to your corresponding knee. Turn yourself to the center, keeping the body upright, and slide the other hand down to the corresponding knee. So another lateral stretch, but one this time that works more deeply into the hip area. It's entirely up to you how many times you perform this particular stretch. Turn to the center, just flex your knees, so mountain arms still. Just gently swing your arms from side to side. So really releasing through the upper body, letting go of any tension which you might still be holding on to in the shoulder area. When you've done this a few times, you can just bring the feet slightly closer together, and we'll do the same with the arms. So gently swinging the arms from side to side, and maybe just tuning into any different sensations which might be arising in the body. So if you're feeling that this pose feels slightly different when the legs are closer together, that might be an interesting observation for you. Might be that there is no particular difference. This is just a nice little mindful exercise so that you can tune into subtle differences in the sensations in your body. Now let's take the hands to the hips when you're ready and hinge forward from the hips so that the upper body goes parallel towards the ground. So just starting to work into the hips a little more. Again, we can repeat that a few times. And then when you're ready, we'll go backwards. So hands onto the hips, hinging backwards, and really feeling quite a deep stretch now into the lower back, so the lumbar spine area, and into the hips. Feel free to do this pose as many times as you feel necessary. If the lower back is feeling a bit tweaky, you might want to do a few extra repetitions. And then we'll come into some mini squats. So from here, bend the legs at the knees, take the arms overhead, palms facing towards each other, and drop your bottom back down towards the ground. As you stand up, the legs will straighten and the arms come back down beside the body. So we can inhale into our mini squat and extend as we release back up. Again, this is absolutely up to you regarding how many repetitions you do, but it's a nice exercise to loosen up upper and the lower body at the same time. From here, come back to a neutral position. Just paddle out the feet. So by this we mean coming up onto the tiptoes on one foot and then alternating. So we're starting to loosen the toes, the feet and the ankles here. Then drop your weight down into both feet. Anchor your weight into your right foot. And this is a nice gentle challenge to the balance, a nice stretch for the quad muscle down the front of the thigh. Draw your left foot into your left buttock using your left hand. This is uncomfortable for you. You can take your right hand to a wall or chair to support yourself. Just feel that gentle stretch down the front of the left thigh. Hold it for as long as comfortable. Keep the breath nice and gentle. And then when you're ready, we'll do the same with the opposite leg. So just placing the weight down into the left foot, taking the right foot to the right buttock using the right hand, and just remaining here for a few breaths. So both sides of the body are slightly different, and it might be that the pose feels easier or more challenging for you on one side or the other. This is very normal. Again, we can be mindful of this. Use it as an opportunity to become more familiar with our sensations in the body. When you're ready, place that right foot back down onto the ground and hinge forward from both hips. So stretching upper body over lower body. Come into a deep forward fold here. You might like to just imagine any tension that you're still holding on to in the body is draining away from the crown of the head and being absorbed down into the earth each time you exhale. Now I'm going to attach a little piece of imaginary string into your shoulder blade area, and I'm going to encourage you just to raise your body up slightly as you inhale, and then I'll release the string and you'll drop back down into another deep forward fold. So a half raise up as I pull on the string and you inhale, and then a deep forward fold again as you lower yourself back down towards the ground. Again, in this deep forward fold, just imagining any tension pouring out of the crown of the head and being absorbed into the earth as you remain here. Then when you're ready, lowering your body down to the ground, coming into the child pose, lower your bottom to your feet, bring the arms down beside the body, palms facing up, forehead to the ground, and just allow yourself a moment or two to settle before you gently ease into a meditation practice of your choice. Namaste.